Boelter Jones, Pro Football Hall of Famer, top 100.
Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks.
DK Metcalf from
Hey, Burleson, you're watching NorbCam.
NorbCam.
You're watching NorbCam.
What's up, everybody? This is NorbCam coming at you with another video. Look at this, twice now, going twice live here on this Thursday. Glad you guys are joining again. I did my little Ask Norb session earlier, but I'm excited to be reunited with the weekly panel and a special guest who I'm going to get to in just a second. But I want to thank you guys first for coming in here and being part of this. We're going to talk a little Seahawks, a little NFL news, particularly about Patrick Mahomes, Raheem Mostert, Clowney, Njoku, and of course what you all been, I know you're really here for, is trivia contest number 14. All right, it's going to be great. So before I get to that real quick, if you guys like what you see, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and that notification bell, and that way you will always be notified when another video of mine hits the air. So without further ado, I want to bring on the panel of fellas who's here every week. The team, the A-team, reunited. Here we are. There they are, right there. In the top left, we got Seahawks Martin. On the top right, Noah, Boelter, DJ Squabo. Welcome back, guys, from your trip to Wazoo. We're going to talk about that briefly for a second. In the bottom right corner, we got Calvin Domingo at Steezy Way. And last but certainly not least, in the bottom left corner, right off my left shoulder, is Fat Kid Orry, the winner of the last trivia contest. Congratulations, Orry, for being here. As the guest of the show today, I guess I'll have to start with you, man. First of all, again, congratulations on winning the contest. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How long have you been a Seahawks fan? And then tell me a little bit, I know you've got a YouTube channel, so tell me a little bit first about yourself and your connection with the Seahawks.
So I've been a Seahawks fan since, first time I started watching them was towards, the 2013 playoffs, but I didn't really start following football seriously until, 2016.
Okay.
So I'm not a bandwagon.
Okay. All right. And so how old are you? You're a pretty young man. You're kind of remind me a little bit of Martin up there. And obviously you know a thing or two about the Seahawks. Where do you go to school? How old are you?
I'm 14. I'm going to be going to school somewhere in my city, San Antonio, Texas. So.
Oh, you're in San Antonio, Texas. Yeah. Okay.
I'm the guy who called in on the first day of the draft.
Yeah. No, I've seen you. You've been very active as a part of my channel. I appreciate that. And so, were you born and raised in San Antonio?
I was actually born in California.
Okay.
I lived there and then I moved to Texas. I lived in California for the first 6 years of my life.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And tell me, how did you end up on my channel? What brought you here? And how did you find me on YouTube?
So for week 13, the Monday Night Football game, I don't have ESPN, so I cannot watch it. So I was trying to find things live on YouTube. I couldn't find any actual live streams of game footage, and then I found your channel, and that was the time where Martin was at the Vikings game.
So yes,
how I found you.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So you were watching the first time me and Martin met for the first time. That's pretty wild how this connection has been made. Pretty awesome. That's cool. I appreciate you being part of this experience and watching my videos and everything like that. So you have a YouTube channel of your own. Tell me a little bit about that.
So on my YouTube channel, I like to talk about Seahawks and sometimes maybe basketball, or just football in general. But I post sometimes I post within the same week. Sometimes I might not post until the next week. It all just depends when I post.
Gotcha. All right. Well, welcome again to the show. I'm looking forward to talking about a few of these topics and of course to see if you can win another trivia contest like a couple of our previous guests have been able to do, winning 2 in a row, winning online and then winning on the panel. So let's get to our panel here and let's see. Let's start with Noah and Calvin. I want to talk to you guys real briefly because we had you last time all the way from Wazoo. Noah, tell me about that trip. You guys got in the RV. You headed over there. I know you're checking out the school to see if this might be where you will end up going in the fall. What did you decide? Have you made a decision after that trip? What's going to happen here with you and Wazoo?
You know, it's still to be determined. I'm definitely leaning a certain way, and I've been working to that end. I'm gonna upload a video probably this Sunday, either this Sunday or next Thursday. I'm probably gonna do it this Sunday, revealing what college I've decided to go to. It's either Wazoo or Full Sail University. I'll let you guys have it. Okay, I know which one I'm gonna go to. I am committed to one. I'm not gonna let you guys know which one until Sunday, though, and I'll let you know that either college that I do decide to go to, the visit was still a lot of fun at Wazoo. We were able to take some great pictures. The scenery was phenomenal. It was a lot of fun going up there and being able to feel the environment, checking out Martin Stadium. Martin Stadium, but
yes, it does belong to Martin.
I'm a Huskies fan. That's sad.
Right. It was a blast. Just getting to feel the environment, checking out the campus in person, and being able to go with my brother, who I love very much, Calvin Domingo. So it was a true pleasure of mine.
And how was the trip for you, Calvin? Going there and being by the side of your buddy there, Noah, as he's trying to make this very pivotal decision in his life. How was the trip for you, man?
Man, it was dope. It was real cool. He asked me if I wanted to come along, and I was just like, I'm not planning on attending the school, but I'd love to be there. I'd love to be there for the ride. And I remember when I posted it to my Snapchat, our road trip. For some reason, there was a filter that said Pomona, and there's a place in California, I guess, called Pomona. And so when people saw that on my social media, they were like, "Oh, you're in Cali. And I was just like, "Yeah, I'm in Cali." So I thought it was just kind of funny, messing around with people. But all in all, it was fun. I've never been in an RV before. That was my first time. I've never been on a road trip, that long. Actually, no, I drove to Vegas last summer, but I've never been in an RV, like I said. Took a whole lot of naps.
Style.
Rolling in style, yes, sir. Took a lot of naps. Ate some good food. Shout out to Mama Boelter, by the way, for making some great teriyaki. I got to read a little bit on the way there, and overall the campus was beautiful. I'm glad that we went there, when we did, because the sun was out. All in all, yeah, I'm really glad that I got to be there for Noah, and I hope he makes the right decision.
All right. So speaking of that RV trip, I see that Noah on his channel posted a little video. You gotta go check it out. It's on the description. Everybody's YouTube channels are in the description. But I'm gonna pull it from DJ Squabo's YouTube video. I guess they did a little freestyle rap and mentioned a few names in there. Let's go to the video real quick and just take a quick look at what they did. A few seconds of this freestyle rap. Let's see how good these guys are or aren't.
What's up, you guys?
They're good for sure. They're good.
We're about to freestyle for you guys for a little bit. Just strictly only bars. They hating on me, so I come in clean. If they want to bully, I could be mean. I do anything to your whole team. I don't care if it's dirty, if it's too obscene. You can't hang with me, I got my whole team. We on a road, RV, road tripping.
Yeah.
Seahawks
Calvin's turn.
Martin. You the little bro, 12 years old. Hold up, you not even 5'4". Seahawks Martin, little bro will never do him wrong. He's the little bro, just like that boy Orry Wong. Michael Mullins, I always see you in the comments. Just like Golden Seahawk, don't think I forgot him. I put him in a video cause he had an idea that I like shopping for furniture at IKEA, because I get lost when I get into these videos. I don't know which way to go, but I do the freestyle flow like I'm on a track, like we're talking on the radio. All y'all too lazy.
Oh man! All right, I had to stop there. That's too good. That's cool that you guys shouted out the Seahawks Martin. Even got Orry in the video in there. I'm just a little disappointed that I didn't hear my name mentioned in there. What's up, man? What's up with that?
Okay, you know what, Norb? You brought it up before we went live. I told you I could show you the exclusive footage. I think what it's gonna take. I think I'm gonna have to do like an exclusive video just with the Norb specific rap bar. I removed it when editing the last one. I think I'm gonna have to do a special video just for Norb because you are so kind to us.
After everything we've been through.
All that clean. No, I think part of the reason why not all the lyrics made it was because it wasn't clean.
Oh,
There was one part. One part. So what the section was about? I was rapping about Norb, and then Cal brought you up, and that part wasn't clean. but then I kind of took over, and I was rapping about Norb, and I was talking about the topics that we were going to talk about on the show too. I started talking about Cam Newton and Bill Belichick, but I cut it out just because I didn't feel like it was bars enough. But just for Norb, I'm gonna swallow the bullet here.
I need a little remix version with my section in there. You owe me that one. All right. Well, I think we should get to it. Let's get to these topics because we only have so many hours in the day. So let's jump into it. Obviously, probably the biggest news of the week came down on Monday when it was announced that Patrick Mahomes signed that monster, historic, biggest sports contract in the history of all sports, I believe. Something close to $500 million for what's going to amount to, I guess, it's a 10-year extension, so 12, I guess, if you add everything all together. But it looks like Patrick Mahomes is going to be a Chief for a long time. I have some thoughts on it because obviously it's a lot of money, but I do have some thoughts on it. Let me start with Martin. Why don't you go first? Tell me your reaction on that and your thoughts on the Patrick Mahomes signing with the Chiefs with the monster contract.
Okay, so I was literally playing outside, and then I came in, checked my phone, and I saw Orry and Sam Dog posting a video about Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, probably just a small extension, like what, 2-3 years? I see it says 10, and my eyes just went out. Like I was like, what on earth? 10 years. For me, 10 years is more like a baseball contract, in my opinion. Because I've never seen anybody sign a 10-year contract before. So this was pretty crazy news, in my opinion. And obviously, this is great news for the Chiefs, as that's their franchise QB now. Well, it has been their franchise QB for like the past 2 years. But Patrick Mahomes obviously is a great player. And man, those 10 years and $500 million, he is going to make a lot of money. So,
How about you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Orry? So you posted about it. Martin saw your post. What was your reaction and thoughts on the signing?
For me, I wasn't surprised that he got an extension, but I was just really surprised that it was 10 years. And from my opinion, this it makes it harder for the Chiefs to keep Chris Jones, and Travis Kelce is also having an extension coming up. So it doesn't give them the best flexibility, but it keeps their franchise quarterback under contract for until I'm 26.
Yeah, it's crazy when you put it in that perspective for you guys. You're going to be past college. You'll have graduated from college long after that contract is up. So that's pretty wild. How about you, Calvin? What was your reaction?
I was a little caught off guard. Obviously, everybody's expecting an extension. I was expecting something along the lines of 5 years, $200 million. I was expecting to reset the market at $40 million here, but I was at work when I saw the news. It was Adam Schefter was talking about 10 years, and we don't know what the amount was. And then there was another tweet that said 10 years over $400 million, but how much over $400 million? And then by the end of the night, by the time I got off of work, it was 10 years and $503 million guaranteed. $477 million guaranteed, or something like that. And I didn't even know you could do 10-year contracts in the NFL. I've seen 7-year contracts. I've seen 6-year. I've seen 8-year, but I've never seen 10. But if anyone's most deserving, it's Patrick Mahomes for sure. He's only 24 years old. He's set to be 25 when the season begins. And I don't think there's a quarterback that's more talented than him in the history of football. That might seem like a stretch because he's only 24 years old. But when you look at his resume speaks for itself. He has a Super Bowl MVP, a regular season MVP. Here he has a 5,000-yard season. He has 2 Pro Bowl. The list goes on and on and on. And so by the time his contract expires, he'll be about 34, 35. He'll still be somewhat in his prime. We see a lot of quarterbacks playing past 35, going into their late 30s, early 40s. And so by the time the contract expires, he'll still have a couple of years left in him. I agree with Orry. I did think about the Chris Jones contract, and Chris Jones was talking about how, like, he could pull a Le'Veon Bell if they don't give him an extension before the season begins. And so there'll definitely be a few roadblocks down the line with Chris Jones and the Kansas City Chiefs. And it definitely impacts or hurts their flexibility in the long run. But I think as long as you have one of the best football players in NFL history to a 10-year contract, you have him secure for the long term, you're going to be contending for Super Bowls no matter, regardless of Chris Jones or whether or not he's on the roster or not. I hope they get something done. I believe they'll get something done. They did franchise tag him for a reason. If they don't end up getting something done, they could at least get a first-round pick and more in exchange for a dominant defensive lineman like Chris Jones. But I think the Kansas City Chiefs, they shocked the world, and they did a good job in doing so.
Noah, your reaction?
Well, this contract was so big. Like this, I think this is the most notes I've ever had for like one of my YouTube videos or for one of our topics ever. It took 2 full pages of a full college notebook. It's just ridiculous all that went into this contract in my eyes. I think what it means for Kansas City, first of all, it's important to understand that it's a team-friendly deal. So you look back, so there are actually 5 times in NFL history where there's been a contract of at least 10 years. One of them, McNabb's, back in 2002, was a 12-year contract. The others, Favre, Bledsoe, Vick, and Culpepper. I want to talk about Brett Favre specifically because Andrew Brandt was the guy who gave him that contract way back in 2001. And the percentage of, based on what the salary cap was in the NFL to what the salary that Brett Favre was going to make, it was about 18.75% of the cap was how much they allocated to Brett Favre. And this was back in 2001. Now, in an even more quarterback-centric world in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, who is an even better talent than Brett Favre was, is at that same 18.75%. So even right now, it is a good deal for Kansas City because over the next couple of years, next year, Pat Mahomes was making about $5 million. The following year is only going to make about 25. Then it's going to start to get into those bigger figures. From 2022 through the end of the contract, that's when he's averaging $45 million per season with a peak in 2027, making about $60 million that year. But what's so important to understand, and I had to do a little bit of research for this, I looked back to about 12 years to what the salary cap was 12 years ago versus what it is now. About 12 years ago, and this is being modest here, not reaching. It was about $123 million. Right now, the salary cap is about $198 million. So it appreciated about 61%. Given it that same 61% down the road in the future, it's going to be about $319 million by the end of his contract. At the last year of his contract, he is set to make only $52 million, meaning that by the end of his contract, it's only going to be 16% of the cap if things go as they are expected to go, which is an absolute deal. Owners and coaches around the NFL try and get their quarterbacks like the percent that they're talking about with Dak Prescott because they can't pay a quarterback more than 14% of their salary cap if they still want to win games. But what's so important about it is that when it's a transcendent player, you're going to have to break the bank. You're going to have to go more than 14%. By the end of this contract, to get this guy, the most talented prospect in NFL history at this point, in his first 2 years, an MVP and a Super Bowl MVP, to get him down to 16% by the end of that contract, I think it's a phenomenal job. It's team friendly by the end of it. I think the concerns are going to be down the road. I think they're going to lose a Bieniemy. I think they're going to lose a Spagnuolo. I think they're going to lose pieces like a Chris Jones. But as long as they keep replenishing their defense, their offense is in great hands with Patrick Mahomes.
This is why I call Noah the next John Clayton.
Yeah, you break it down, man. That's very well articulated. And I agree with you, too. I think that while it's a lot of money, and like you said, you broke it down very nicely in terms of how it kind of spreads out over those next 10 years. But the biggest part, I think, is what you were just saying, is that tying to the salary cap. Because as we know, quarterback salaries are kind of like a conveyor belt, right? They're going to be high for this year. Like last year, Russell Wilson was the highest paid quarterback, but we knew it wasn't going to last. We knew somebody was going to come on and be the next highest. Well, here it is, almost just about a year later. Here he is making almost $5 million, depending on how you look at it, 5 to almost 10 million more than Russell Wilson is. And who knows, in another year, if the next great player comes along, that guy might be making that much more. And I think the one thing we haven't seen yet, and I know Russell Wilson was pushing for, is that he was trying to get that percentage of the salary cap. And I think once you get that contract, and it's going to happen, one of these days the quarterback's going to come along and is going to demand, I want to have X percentage of the salary cap. Well, then that will be the ultimate player-friendly deal when that happens. Because when that cap grows, as like you said, that cap could grow huge. And in 5 years, Patrick Mahomes could be looking at it going, man, that deal that signed 5 years ago was pretty good then, but it kind of sucks now. I mean, we've seen it before, right? Guys sign big contract. Hey, I'm happy. Look at my extension. Woohoo. $, $. And then the next thing you know, 3 years from now, they're already like holding out because they're mad. They're not making as much as this guy did. So Mahomes seems like a pretty cool dude. He looks like a guy who wouldn't be that selfish. And let's be honest, that's more money than any of us would know what to do with in a lifetime. So maybe to him, he doesn't need to be the highest paid guy. He's going to have plenty of money. The question is, how much do you have to have? And do you have to be the number one? Is he going to feel bad if some player 2 years from now is going to be making more than him? Will he be like, man, this is I'm better than him. Why is he getting more money than him? It's always going to be constantly changing, as we know, as those dollar amounts change. So, we'll see how it goes. But for right now, the Chiefs are very happy. They've got their man. And if you're in the AFC West, man, you're just like, dang, we gotta deal with this dude for however long. It's kind of like the AFC East back when Brady started winning all those Super Bowls, looking back at 2001, man. And look how long it took, still to this day, that Brady has been dominating that division. So we'll see how this plays out. But at the same time, look what happened with Russell Wilson. He was in the same spot where he had won a Super Bowl. He was still in that rookie contract deal. And look what's happened to the rest of the team. I mean, it takes a toll on everything else. So we'll see how this affects. Chris Jones is just the first of many dominoes to fall in terms of not being able to afford other guys. And they're just getting started. The big money hasn't even kicked in yet. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the team starts to balance out. And just like Russell Wilson's asked to do a lot. Patrick Mahomes probably have to do the same thing when he starts seeing other tools around him starting to drop because they can't afford them. All right, let's move on to the next topic of conversation. The other, a bit of a surprise one was Raheem Mostert of the 49ers, who had a monster late run last year, just destroying, especially in that Packers game in the NFC Championship. Wants to trade, wants to get out of San Francisco, wants to get paid. Like, again, we were just talking about guys want to get paid what they feel they're worth, and he doesn't feel like the contract he's got is worth that. Orry, let's go to you first. What was your reaction to seeing that everything not so great in 49er land, or not? What was your thoughts?
So, I actually released a video on this yesterday. So, for me, I don't really want to see him with the Niners next year because that'll make the Niners better if he goes. Well, I think it'll make the Seahawks' job easier because Jimmy G's an average quarterback and Seattle's secondary's gotten better. So I think if their run game if Raheem Mostert wants to go and their run game gets worse, and then they'll have to rely more on the pass game. So maybe I think that would be a good thing for the Seahawks. And the thing is about Raheem Mostert, he's 28, so he might not have too much good time left. So I feel like he might get overpaid if he goes somewhere else, or if San Francisco wants to keep him.
Well, I think the debate there is with Mostert is obviously playing that game, which is tough right now, given the fact that teams are not able to move players around and have visits like they normally would. But is it the player or is it the system? That's the big question as to whether the 49ers are going to miss him or not. Martin, what's your thoughts?
For a Seahawks fan, this is great news. Raheem Mostert he did great in that final stretch last year. Like you said, Norb, the Packers game, he completely tore them apart. Which is why I believe Tom Grossi's pretty happy that he wants to go right now. And so, I mean, he is a great guy, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty hard for the 49ers to trade Raheem Mostert. But from a Seahawks perspective, if he does go, that's going to be really helpful. Unless he goes to like another NFC West team, that would not help. But Raheem Mostert, I feel like he might cost a lot considering his performance from the last few games. You never know what happens. He might stay in San Francisco if they're going to pay him a lot, but you never know what happens. He might go to another team. The Niners won't have another good as him running, good as Mostert running back. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Calvin, let's go to you. What's your thoughts?
Honestly, I don't see him. I know he demanded a trade, but it's not like he's asking for $10 million plus a year. He's only asking to be paid, just like the other guys on the roster. You look at some of the running backs on the roster. You're looking at Tevin Coleman, who's making about $4.55 million a year. Jerick McKinnon is making about $6 and $7 million a year, and so he's just looking to be paid, just like those guys. In their minds, they should know that by now that Mostert is the most talented out of those three. He's able to stay healthy. And last season, he signed for about 3 years, $8.7 million, but they signed him to that contract because of his value on special teams. And so he's asking for a slight. I think that they'll be able to manage things and hopefully work out a number. Because like I said, he's not asking for the world. He's only asking to be paid, just like the other guys on the roster. He's arguably the best running back on the roster, and so he definitely deserves it after this past season's performance. I think that if they do end up trading him, you could look at a team like Miami, Minnesota. If they can't get things done with Dalvin Cook, maybe they look to trade for a guy like Most. He said he's been on 8 different teams. I don't see him signing a huge, massive, long-term deal with any team, but I think that eventually San Fran and Most will be working things out.
How about you, Noah? Any final thoughts as in regards to this? You think he's making the right move here?
Oh, no. I think that he needs to be in the system. First of all, the Shanahan system, not just Kyle, but his father, always they make 1,000-yard running backs, and that's something that they do. So being in San Francisco is a great thing for Raheem Mostert. If he were to leave, he'd have to go to a select few franchises that be willing to and committed to run the football, Baltimore, Seattle, maybe like a Pittsburgh, but they got Connor. You look around the league, I like the Minnesota fit. I don't think there's a perfect fit for Mostert, and because of that, I think it'd be better for him to stay on a contender, stay relevant for a while, and to keep getting tread on those tires. I understand you're not getting paid the most, but you're in a good situation where you're getting a lot of touches, and you have a chance to compete.
Yeah, he was in the Super Bowl. He had 12 carries. He was definitely carried the ball the most. 12 carries for 58 yards, 1 touchdown, 4.8 yards per carry. So, it definitely was a strong finish for him. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the 49ers decide to try to work something out or if he ends up in one of those teams that you mentioned. So let's jump ahead. I know that I know a lot of people are waiting to get onto the trivia contest here. I want to jump ahead to the Njoku situation, talking about players wanting to get traded. Orry, let's go back to you here. Leaving Cleveland, where does he want to end up? Where do you think he's going to most likely end up? Any thoughts on that, Orry?
I'm not sure where he would end up. Sam Dog, the infamous 253, was the one who came up with the idea of Njoku, but I think the Seahawks don't really need him because they already got a lot of tight ends. But for any team that needs a tight end should try to go after him.
Yeah, I agree. And Sam Dog, he called me, actually told me about that. He said, "What do you think, Norb?" And I agreed. It's like, well, we already got so many tight ends, and I feel like we've got the guys who we need. I don't think we really need more as long as they can stay healthy. But Martin, what was your thoughts on Mr. Njoku?
I didn't really have much of an opinion. Like Orry said, we don't really need Njoku. We have like 1 million tight ends already. So we don't need Njoku on the team. But there are a few teams out there asking for him. He is a pretty good tight end, and I'm listing the names off. I believe it's the Packers, the Panthers, Cowboys, Texans, Cardinals, and the Redskins, I believe, are the teams that are aiming to get him. And right now I see The Panthers probably needing him big time, considering Greg Olson's gone. They don't have the best tight end. And they don't have a good tight end. Dang, my laptop's dead. They don't have a very good. They don't have the best tight end in the game, considering Greg Olson used to be a really good one, but now that he's gone, they don't really have a tight end to fill in. David Njoku would be a good fill in for that position. So, but as for me, I don't think the Seahawks need David Njoku at all.
Calvin, your thoughts where he might end up?
So on the Bowl a couple of weeks ago, I brought up the New England Patriots and how they should surround Cam Newton with weapons, but I'm starting to veer off in a different direction. I like the nation's capital, the Washington Redskins. I think that they're a team that should trade for David Njoku. They're settling on Dwayne Haskins. They want Dwayne Haskins to be their franchise quarterback. And you have a receiver in Terry McLaurin, but aside from him, who else do you have over there? You let Jordan Reed go. You have a few running backs on the roster, and Darius Guys and Adrian Peterson that are very injury prone. And so I think that this season they're going to have to rely on Dwayne Haskins for a lot of their production on offense. And you can't really rely on a guy when you can't give him any weapons. And aside from Terry McLaurin, like I said, there's nobody else there. They have a need at tight end. They need more weapons. They're a young team. They could definitely afford to give him a contract extension within the next couple of years. But if Washington can't get it done, I'm looking at New England as a team. Last season, obviously, we saw Tom Brady struggle with the assortment of weapons that he had over there, or lack thereof. And Cam Newton, you can't expect him to succeed with the guys that he has over there if Tom Brady was unable to do the same thing last season. And so I think that you definitely want to add to the cupboard, because right now it's a little bare in New England. And David Njoku will be a fantastic fit over there. Last season was kind of a forgotten season. There are a whole bunch of other guys that stepped up for Cleveland. He suffered through multiple injuries. But a year before that, in 2018, he had over 600 yards, 5 touchdowns, showed a whole lot of potential. And he was drafted in the first round just a couple of years ago. He's about 6'4", 6'5", very explosive, very athletic. He can grab 50-50 balls. And so I think that he'd be a terrific addition, a terrific weapon for the Washington Redskins. And so they should look to trade for him.
All right. John Clayton, the John Clayton second coming. Noah, what do you have to say about Njoku?
I like Dallas. I think there are a couple of factors that are leading towards Njoku wanting out of Cleveland. I think he was okay with the supporting cast deal until they went and paid the highest paid tight end at his position over the top of him in the depth chart. So I think he goes to a situation where it's similarly talented all the way around the roster, except there's no tight end that's going to be in front of him. That Dallas has a young tight end that they like, but he's not Njoku in terms of what his capabilities are and his athleticism. Njoku could go in there and be the number one tight end on a talented roster, and just it would help. I like it from a Dallas standpoint. They're trying to compete in a loaded NFC, and they're trying to compete as soon as possible. And they already have added a whole bunch of talent this offseason to their offense in an effort to prove that why they should pay Dak, which doesn't make sense. It's kind of reverse psychology, but it's going towards their reverse psychology in a good way. So I think it's a fit in that sense. And I think he goes to Dallas, a place where he's been already in rumors. He'd like to play there. It's America's team. It's the Dallas Cowboys, $1 billion playpen, $1 billion sandbox for Jerry Jones. I think that would be the best fit coming from a place like Cleveland, where it's a little city, not as many fans. You go to America's team, you're a lot happier.
I think one team that nobody mentioned in here that could seriously benefit from a tight end of his caliber would be the Arizona Cardinals, giving Kyler Murray another powerful weapon to throw to, already having one that they acquired over the offseason. Patriots also is makes a lot of sense to me. I hope neither of them happen, because we got to play both these teams and Arizona twice. I would not want to have to defend a tight end like Njoku. So hopefully he'll go to one of these other teams that we hopefully won't play. Maybe like, I don't think we're not playing the Redskins, are we, this year?
We are.
We are.
We are. That's right. We are playing them. Then he should go to we're
Carolina.
Carolina, although somehow we seem to always run into those guys one way or the other.
Them.
So, yeah, I know. They're like one of our regular things. So almost every team mentioned is somehow going to sneak into the schedule. So I think no matter what, there's a good chance we're going to face him down the line, but hopefully not twice.
Except the Panthers, Martin mentioned. we won't be facing them next year.
So I guess we have time. Let's talk about one more topic before we get to the trivia. I got Clowney on the list. We can either talk about Clowney or we can talk about Dunbar. What do you guys want to talk about?
Neither. Let's get straight to the trivia.
You want to do a quick Clowney talk about? There's not really that much about the Dunbar situation. And it just seems like Clowney's name never ceases to leave the equation. I think there was a rumor out there that the Raiders offered a pretty good contract over to him, and something that I don't know, not the highest, middle of the road, could be intriguing from a team that is going to be playing in a brand new stadium, fun place, Las Vegas. But again, we just talked about you want to have to face Kansas City twice a year, and I know that Clowney wants to be on a contender. Joining the Raiders, contending possibilities, I don't know, not with Kansas City looming over their heads. Orry, what's your thoughts on Clowney possibly, by lack of other good choices, come back to Seattle, or we still just have to wait and see?
To me, this Clowney thing's getting kind of old. He just, it's like you forget about it, and then a rumor pops up, and then you start talking about it again, and you forget about it. Because for me, I feel like he might just wait till like after training camp's over. Or he might just do something like hold out the season, even though that's not the smartest idea. Because I feel like he might just choose to hold out the season if he doesn't get the money he wants. But that would not be a smart idea, because then the next off season he's rusty. He wouldn't be able to play that well. So
it's interesting.
Camp, that would be he'd be rusty too.
Well, it's interesting because I think everyone's going to be rusty. This is such a weird season, and even if your strategy is to hold out, it doesn't even have the same leverage as it would in a normal season, because there's some talk that some players might have the option to not play due to the COVID-19 virus. So some people might, still under contract, may opt out from playing. They may give them that option. So the holding out part just becomes, I don't know, it becomes a little more watered down in the given situation where teams aren't getting enough time to practice. We're not having much of a preseason, if any. Training camp training camps are supposed to open at the end of July, but clearly these are going to be some of the least prepared teams we've seen in a long time. It's just crazy right now. But Martin, what do you think? Old news, no news? What do you think?
Yeah, just like Orry, I'm kind of getting bored of this whole Clowney stuff. I honestly still don't see why he wants so much money, when he's like pretty much injury prone. He underperforms and only comes out playing well like a couple games a season. But yeah, other than that, the Clowney is just boring stuff to me now. I'd rather see other NFL news.
You'd rather just get to the trivia, is what you're really trying to say, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe.
All right, Calvin, your thoughts?
I think he's actually going to come back. He's that girlfriend that dumped his ex because she thought that she could do better, only to find out that the Seahawks were the best that she's ever had. And we wouldn't mind being on that end, only because he'd come at a reduced price. And I think that at this point in the offseason, we're nearing towards the middle of July. For him to sign with another team in these circumstances would hurt his chances of securing the bag next season. And so why not stick with the team that you played for last season? Out of all the options out there, we are the best girlfriend or the best boyfriend, however you want to look at it, left for him. And so I think that he's just waiting until he gets the right offer from Seattle. But I think we're not going to budge. And so he'll just have to take what's left for him on the table. But because we're so late and so deep into the offseason with the circumstances that we're in, he has no choice but to resign unless some team, a contender, is willing to swoop in and give him something that blows his mind or blows everyone's mind. And so I think at this point, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he's going to resign with Seattle.
And I think you and I have been on the same page, haven't we? I think you and I, more than the rest of this panel, have been kind of holding on to that girlfriend approach. That, yeah, just see what's out there, but she'll come back at the end of the day. I think you and I have been kind of on that same philosophy this whole time. So
for a little bit, I was kind of veering away for a little bit, but now I'm starting to like.
Oh, you're coming back. Oh, you're like the girlfriend who left for a while and is coming back. So you're going to lead the way for Clowney to do the same thing. Noah, old news, I know, but you staying true to your guns. I think for a long time you've been saying Clowney's not coming back.
All right, ladies. So first of all, if you'll allow me, I'd like to use like a visual representation of the Clowney graph, right? So in the beginning, it was like the longer he waits to sign whatever deal he's going to sign, the less likely it's going to be with Seattle. Why? Because he's going out and he's meeting other women. He's taking them on dates. He's entertaining them, if you will. If he was truly in love with Seattle, he would have just signed with us immediately, but he didn't. So as it went on, it became less and less likely that he was coming back to Seattle. But then as the offseason continued, you kind of reached the top of that spiral where it's not like he's getting better offers from other teams at this point in the offseason. And it's not like he's going to meet that dream girl, because that dream girl isn't always married when you finally meet her at some point in your life. So now the later we go into the offseason, and you got to take into account the coronavirus and how teams aren't able to practice as much. Training camps are going to be limited. Preseason is going to be limited. So it's less and less likely that he's going to be able to acquaint himself with the new system. And so we're kind of over the free agency hump where it was most likely Clowney's going to an opposing team. So at this point on the Clowney curve of this offseason, I say it's more likely than just about ever Clowney comes back to Seattle on a one-year deal to prove it and readdress free agency and what's going to be less of a weird offseason next year. I think Clowney is most likely to come back just like I did. Just like I thought he was at the very beginning. But I'm keeping the same stance from the whole curve. And what that stance is that we can't rely on him. I think we need to make other moves regardless. It's like Quinton Dunbar's situation, which we weren't going to touch on, but I really think like we can't count on Quinton Dunbar to be there and have him be the reason why in December or January our season comes to an end because we never found his replacement. We shouldn't be counting on him in the first place. Same with Jadeveon Clowney. We shouldn't count on him, but we're at the point in the curve where it's most likely he's going to come back.
Right, so we can't count on those two, and that's when Antonio Brown comes in at the very end of the season and puts the top off over the offense and completely blows away the competition when it comes to postseason. All right, we can dream a little bit. Unix Format, always a huge contributor to my channel. Thank you. He's got a super chat in there, flying pear icon or something like that. Unix Format, you had a huge super chat donation. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. So always appreciate your support. I see Norberto, who is my dad's name, by the way. I know you won trivia, and I emailed you, and you never got back to me. So you need to reach out to my Norb at norbcam.com, because I was trying to get you on the show, and for some reason we just kind of didn't get connected there. So I haven't forgotten about you, man. It's hard to forget a guy who's got the same name as my father. So before we go on to the trivia, I did want to mention one thing. I got a 2020 season tickets update from my agent here from the Seahawks. And so before, the last communication was that everything's moving forward, anticipating all fans in the stand until we hear otherwise. Well, we're hearing otherwise now. So now they're giving the season ticket holders an option. You can either put a pause on 2020 and basically get a credit for next year, or completely just mail it in for 2020. And you don't lose your place in the stadium. You just basically don't occupy the stadium for this 2020 season. Or we do a wait and see, which is do what we're doing. We wait and see what happens, and take it on a week-by-week, game-by-game basis and get refunded for any game that happens. So I think that's not too much of a surprise. I figured the way things are going right now, we're seeing more and more things that hinting at, I don't know how they're going to do this, guys. I mean, they canceled the Hall of Fame game. They took 2 games out of the preseason, and then I know the Players Association wants to cancel the preseason altogether. And I don't know, did the NFL actually decide on changing that? Is it still 2 games, or did they actually not even are we doing no preseason at all? What's the latest on that? Do you guys know? It's still 2?
I think still 2. Pretty
it's
sure.
Still the two middle ones. For Seattle, it means we have 1 game. I can't remember who we're playing. It's like against the Texans and somebody else. One home, one away. But there was a talk, just every little thing starts to become scrutinized. So now they put down a rule saying that there's going to be no jersey swaps between players. Did you guys hear that? They will not allow any jersey swapping because what's going to happen if you guys are swapping sweaty jerseys with each other? So they're ruling that out. And I guess Bruce Irvin chimed in saying, well, why don't we just make it two-hand touch now? So this whole thing is looking very, I don't know, very unlikely to see that it's going to look like anything that we're used to come September. I don't know. It's just not looking good, which is very sad to me, but we'll see. It's a crazy time, and it's not getting, at least in the United States, it's not trending the right direction. So we shall see. But you guys ready to do trivia?
Yes,
All right.
sir.
All right, let's do this thing. I got a special contest put together, and hopefully I got all my answers correct. I think I did. And so get ready, guys, for you in the audience. If you're ready to play, make sure you got your Kahoot app ready or Kahoot.com. And let's get this show on the road. It is time for NorbCam Trivia number 14. Let's do this. All right, here is the number coming up right now. The number is 540132. 540132. Waiting for players. We'll take about 50 or so. 540. There, Lamar Jackson, the sports nerd. Vanessa is cute. Hey, watch it. Joker, deadly, dangerous. Sky High Aviation, Cameron Hughes. We got 18 players. Keep them coming. As you can see, I got this ever since last game. I updated with this high-tech scoreboard, as you guys can, for those watching. So now instead of writing it down on a piece of paper with pencil, I've got the updated scoreboard so I can maintain the scores right here. We can see how Orry, Martin, Calvin, and Noah are faring throughout the entire course of the game. We've got 41 players. We'll take 10 or so more. 42 now. Russak Pixon, Schmilligard, Max T. Tyler Lockett, Norb's left nut. Come on now. Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it clean out here. My God. What the F, man? You're not going to win this after a name like that. That's almost as bad as leaving it out of your spontaneous rap on the way in an RV to Wazoo. 52 players now. We get 15 more seconds. Bam Bam Cam in the house. Fire Bill O'Brien. Trevor, Hawks, Robel, Seahawks. Norb's left nut. Anthony D. C. Brad Key. I already said that. 53 players. We got 10 seconds. Can't wait for this one.
I'm surprised there's no. Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't said 49.
There might be a Martin in there. You know, there was one. I don't think you were listening last time. There was a Martin isn't here in the last show.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I kept saying it looked like Martini because it's Martin isn't. The Martin I just looked like Martini, so I kept saying Martini isn't here, and people are like, that's driving me nuts. What he wants to say is Martin isn't here. All right, 54 players, and I think we're going to cut it off right here. That sounds like the limit. All right, let's do this thing. Here we go. Starting trivia. You guys ready? 55 players, and we are going to cut off right now. Let's start the game. Let's go. All right, 12 questions as usual. Question number 1. What was the Seahawks record in their inaugural season? 2-12, 3-11, 4-10, or 1-13? 2-12, 3-11, 4-10, 1-13. Inaugural season in 1976. Time is up. Pretty good. YouTube got most of this correct. 22 of you guys said 2-12. Yep, a roaring start. Took a while before they got their first winning season. That would be a few years later. Let's go to the panel, and we got to start with, of course, our guest here. So, Orry, what did you have?
I thought it was 3-11. I had no clue. I'm pretty sure they had a losing record, so I'm just like, I'm gonna go with 3-11. And
well, all these numbers were losing records. None of them were a good choice. But yeah, sorry you didn't get that one. Martin.
I went with 2-12 first, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm pretty sure the only first one was against the Buccaneers, was the other inaugural team. But I decided to go with my gut, 2-12. I got it right. I
You got
believe.
it right. All right. Congratulations. Now, of course, we had some people accusing the panel, saying, I don't think they're being completely honest, but I know you guys wouldn't lie about something like
We
this.
are not cheating. I can't see the chat, but I know I do not cheat. I hate cheaters.
Yes. All right. Calvin, you're up. Did you get this one right?
I said 3-11.
Oh, you were with Orry on this one. I believe I've actually asked this question before. I think this is a rehash from an old trivia game. So if you were really paying attention and had a photographic mind, you might have remembered this one, but not exactly the kind of thing you normally remember. Noah, how about you?
Well, let's not say that, Norb. I don't know if you've asked this one, but yeah, no. I was between 2-12 and 3-11. I said 3-11.
Oh, tough one. So Martin got the only one to get the score here. Let's go to the.
Well, he was
scoreboard.
there.
All right, let's go to the scoreboard. See how YouTube is faring here. Vanessa is cute in number 1. I'm not sure about these names today, guys. Joker in second, Cameron Hughes in third, Snipe God 1592 in fourth, and Tyler Lockett bringing up the rear in fifth. Let's go to the next question. Question number 2. Who was the Seahawks backup quarterback in 2017? Is it Tavares Jackson, Geno Smith, Trevon Boykin, or Austin Davis? Backup quarterback in 2017. Jackson, Smith, Boykin, or Davis? Again, 2017 backup QB. Time is up. Ooh. Most of you got this correct. If you said Austin Davis, 15 of you got this one correct. This is who pays attention to the backup quarterback, really, right? So it's tough to really know. It's the position you don't think about until your quarterback goes down. Orry, what say you?
I got Austin Davis. I knew this one.
You did. All right, you're on the board with 1 point. Martin.
So I knew Tavares Jackson way too early. By the way, rest in peace. Geno Smith has only been with us for 1 year, 2019. So it's down to Trevon Boykin and Austin Davis, but I went with Trevon Boykin. So.
Oh, got the 50-50, but wrong side of the coin. Calvin.
Yeah, I thought I knew it because I went with Boykin, but I guess I'm wrong.
It was off by a year. I mean, all these guys were all backup QBs of the Seahawks. Boykin was very close, but no, it was Davis at the time. Noah?
Yeah, both the first questions have been 50-50s, and I've got them both wrong. I said
man.
Boykin.
A slow start, like the inaugural Seahawks. A slow start here. 1 point Orry, 1 point Martin. Let's go see what the YouTube scoreboard looks like now. Okay, good. Vanessa's cute's not there anymore. Joker in first place. Snipe God 1592 moves up to second. Sky High Aviation in the top 5. Cameron Hughes to fourth. And Dangerous moves to fifth. Let's go to question number 3. Which of these Seahawks players is the heaviest? Jordan Simmons, Ethan Posick, Mike Iupati, or Dwayne Brown? Which of these is the heaviest Seahawk player? Jordan Simmons, Ethan Posick, Mike Iupati, or Dwayne Brown? Heaviest Seahawk player here. Simmons, Posick, Iupati, or Brown? Time is up. Ooh, pretty even spread across the board, but 12 of you in YouTube got this correct. Well, it is Jordan Simmons. Let's go to our panel. Orry.
I got it wrong. I chose Ethan Posick. It was a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That was close. These are all definitely the heaviest guys on the team, but sorry you didn't get that one. Martin.
I thought I thought Jordan Simmons was going to be one of those traps where it's like a guy you don't know and you're just going to guess with him. And I thought that it was a trap, and I decided I wouldn't fall for the trap, and so I went with Ethan Posick, Orry, and got it wrong. So.
Man, I'm really stumping you guys today. Calvin, how about you?
So initially, I was going to go with Iupati just because you know how them Islander guys get. You know, they get real big, real nasty. And so I was going to go with Iupati, but then I realized that Jordan Simmons, he's actually taller than Iupati, and Iupati's actually slimmed down a little bit since coming into the league. You look at him in San Fran and him in Seattle, he's lost a lot of weight. And so I was like, you know what? It can't be Iupati. And so just like Martin, I thought Jordan Simmons was a trap, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a chance. Let's go for it. And so Got it.
All right, put you on the board. All right, so Noah, can you get on the board this time?
Well, unfortunately, I don't inspect the players' bodies like Calvin does. I just kind of looked at the question and to be honest, I didn't know Jordan Simmons was taller than Yapati either. I thought he was shorter. But I looked at these 4 names, and I'm like, if I was writing a question and I was trying to get people to guess what person would be the most heaviest, I would have said the 3, Brown, Yapati, and Posick. I wouldn't have said Simmons, and so I guessed Simmons.
Okay, so it gets you on the board. So we got a 4-way tie, 1 point apiece. Let's see how the YouTube scoreboard changed after that question. Oh, lots of changes. Dangerous moves to first. Schmilligard moves to second, who has a 3-answer streak going. Joker to third. Snipe God 1592 to fourth. And Sky High Aviation drops to fifth. Let's go to the next question. Who was the first player to go to the Pro Bowl for special teams? Was it Bobby Joe Edmonds, Rufus Porter, Fred Young, or Kenny Easley? First player to go to the Pro Bowl strictly for special teams. Bobby Joe Edmonds, Rufus Porter, Fred Young, or Kenny Easley. Time is up. Most of YouTube got that one. 15 of you got the correct answer. Yes, it was Fred Young, who was a beast taking down guys, especially on kickoff returns. He would knock guys' blocks off back when you could still do it. Let's go to the scoreboard. Orry.
Wrong again. Rufus Porter. I have no clue. I'm like...
This is way before your time.
His name sounds like someone who might have been there.
Yeah. All right. It's a tough one there. Martin, Encyclopedia. How was the Encyclopedia on this one?
I don't know if Orry and my brains are linked somehow, because I also got Rufus Porter and I was wrong. I only know Kenny Easley and Rufus Porter. I would take out Kenny Easley because that's probably a trap, right? He's the most well-known guy up there. I want Rufus Porter.
Wow.
I don't know what happened.
That's a tough one. I don't know. These oldies but goodies. Calvin.
So just like Martin, I crossed off Kenny Easley. There was no way he would have only made the Pro Bowl as a special teams player. And so from then on, I was pretty stuck. And so I went with the guy who had the coolest name,
Bobby Joe Edmonds.
Bobby Joe Edmonds.
He was a hell of a return guy. And he did, I think, at some point go to the Pro Bowl, but it was Fred Young was the first. Noah.
Yeah. So when I was doing my homework the one time about the Seahawks all-time leaders, I remember seeing Bobby Joe Edmonds' name as the all-time average punt return yards leader, I think. So I went with him and was wrong.
It's not a bad choice. I actually kind of hadn't thought about Fred Young, but then on YouTube, the Seahawks released this video that was like a retrospective old school NFL films video about the 1984 season. And so I was watching it going, oh man, I remember those days. I remember that season. And they talked about Fred Young and Fred Young, in a vicious special teams guy made it to the Pro Bowl, or first player to do so. And I was like, oh, that's a good trivia question. So no scores. We swung and a miss.
They're going to show another one of those in half an hour, I heard.
Yeah,
2005 season.
Yeah, I heard 2005.
Year,
oh man, I don't like watching anything from 2005 because that Super Bowl is such a horrible ending. All right, let's go to the scoreboard, see where we're at here. So that was an 0 for 4. Man, tough day for the panel. Let's see how the YouTube group did. Dangerous, holding strong at 1. Sky High Aviation bumps back up to 2nd. Tyler Greaves in the top 5 at number 3. Samoan Family at 4th. And Schmilligod hanging in there at number 5. Here we go. Next question. Question number 5. Who did the Seahawks play in the 2005 NFC Divisional Playoffs? We're just talking about that season. Was it the New Orleans Saints, the Carolina Panthers, the Green Bay Packers, or the Washington Redskins? The 2005 NFC Divisional Playoffs. Saints, Panthers, Packers, Redskins. Divisional Playoffs, 2005. Time is up. All right, YouTube was paying attention. They guessed the Washington Redskins, who knows how much longer they'll be called the Washington Redskins. 15 of you got that one correct. Let's go to the panel. Orry.
I got that right. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's not the. I think the Panthers was the NFC Championship that year, and then the Saints. I kind of saw that as a trap, and then it was between the Packers and the Redskins, and I'm like, if we play the Packers, that's probably gonna be heard about because those are obviously always big games, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna go with the Redskins.
That's a good process of elimination. Good call there, Martin.
Yeah, I knew that before you even gave the answers. Washington Redskins. Hopefully this is the start of a streak.
All right. Well, I had to give you an easy one. I gave you all these hard ones. I had to throw a couple softballs in there. Calvin.
So I knew that the Panthers was the NFC Championship, but I didn't really have an answer, so I stuck with the Panthers.
Oh, you guessed Panthers for the divisional game?
Yeah.
Oh, but you said you knew that we played them, or you just knew we played them in the playoffs.
No, I knew we played them in the NFC Championship, but I just had no clue who it was for the divisional, so I was just like...
I don't understand, because we played them in the championship. We couldn't have played them in the divisional.
You had a 33% chance.
Right.
Because you know how like we had time to think, right? But then by the time you said, "Oh, time's up," I didn't pick a team, so I was just like,
"Okay, all right." Sorry about that one there, Noah. How about you?
I was like, it's not New Orleans. I think it's not Green Bay. I remember we played Carolina in those playoffs, and then the time ran out, and so I was like, Carolina, and got it wrong too.
Oh, you said Carolina too? Oh my goodness! And I was making sure I said divisional playoffs because I wanted to make sure I wasn't like, 2005 playoffs. I want to make sure you guys knew I was talking about. There's a distinction. It is the divisional game is that one that everyone remembers. Well, usually remembers the championship, but sometimes that divisional one is that kind of like, who do we play again? And that was one of those, the Redskins. It's just one of those games you don't really think about. It's not the marquee type of, remember that game against the Redskins? It's kind of forgettable. But all right, anyway, let's see how the YouTube gang did on this. See how it changes the standings. No, not much. Dangerous still on top. Sky High Aviation holding still. Tyler Greaves at third. Schmilligod in third, and Joker jumps into the fifth spot. Next question. Which Seahawks head coach took 3 different teams to the playoffs? Was it Mike Holmgren, Pete Carroll, Chuck Knox, or Dennis Erickson? Which head coach took 3 different teams to the playoffs? Holmgren, Carroll, Knox, or Erickson? You have 3 seconds. Time is up. Wow, actually, not as many people got this right as I thought. 14 of you on YouTube got this correct. Chuck Knox, the correct answer. Let's see how well our panel knew this one. Orry.
I went with Mike Holmgren. I knew it couldn't be Pete Carroll because, as far as I know, he's not too good with the Patriots or the Jets. And then I was like, it's probably Mike Holmgren because, he coached the Green Bay Packers and Brett Favre. So I went with with Mike Holmgren and got it wrong.
Okay, Martin. Encyclopedia.
Yeah, I seriously think Orry and my brains are linked somehow because I also know Mike Holmgren. Like Orry said, I was like thinking, Packers for sure. I couldn't get that second team, but then I was thinking Pete Carroll. Like he only went to that one playoff game with the Jets. He did terrible with the Patriots. That Jets game was like the Dan Marino fake spike. I didn't think of Chuck Knox much. I do know he had that one 1983, but other than that, I don't really know. I have no clue who Erickson is. So,
because he was not very good. So, yeah, you probably should not know him. Let's go to, as far as the Seahawks are concerned, let's go to Calvin.
I went with Chuck Knox. I knew it wasn't Pete Carroll. He had disaster stints in New York and New England, so I crossed him off. Mike Holmgren, I couldn't think of a third team. I knew Seattle, I knew Green Bay, but I couldn't think of a third team. I don't think there is a third team, so I crossed him off. And the other guy, I don't even know who he is. But Chuck Knox, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's one of the better coaches in NFL history.
I don't know his percentage, but yes. I mean, obviously, to take 3 teams, not an easy task. Noah.
I went with the best guy. So yeah, I said Chuck Knox.
Good call there. Noah, did you have this one?
Yeah, no, it was another 50, and I've just not been getting 50s today. I was like, I can remember 2 with Holmgren. I know Knox was great, but I'm like, I don't know any of the teams like it. So I just went Holmgren because I was like, at least 2, but no.
Yeah. And it was only 2. But, all right, sorry. So that makes a 3-way tie between Orry, Martin, and Calvin, and Noah bringing up the rear with 1. Just for your information, so Chuck Knox took the Rams, the Bills, and the Seahawks. Those are the 3 teams he took to the playoffs. And for the other record, Pete Carroll, he actually did take the Patriots to a playoff game. He did not with the Jets. The Patriots he actually did take to one postseason game, but that would still make him only a 2-team playoff coach. The Patriots and the Seahawks of all teams. Let's go to the scoreboard and see how we stand now. Danger Rush still on top. Sky High Aviation in second. Schmilligod up to third. Snipe God 1592 in fourth. And Tyler Greaves drops to fifth. 51 places moving up. Ritz is the highest climber, trying to get on the podium. Let's go to the next question. Who is the lightest player on the Seahawks roster? Josh Norwood, Jason Myers, John Ursua, or Tyler Lockett? The lightest player on the Seahawks roster. Josh Norwood, Jason Myers, John Ursua, Tyler Lockett. The lightest player on the Seahawks roster. Time is up. Oh, a lot of you fell for it's a trap. Guessing the Tyler Lockett, but no, it's Josh Norwood, the least selected by YouTube. This one fooled more people than I thought. And let's see if our panel, who probably does not know if Noah is correct and he doesn't check out the bodies, he certainly wouldn't know by looking. But would he know by process of elimination? We'll find out. But let's start with Orry first. Orry.
I do not know about Josh Norwood. I don't know that much about him. Considering he's an undrafted rookie, so I'm like, Tyler Lockett, he's the slot receiver. He seems like the smallest, so I guess Tyler Lockett.
I think a lot of people fell for that trap too. Martin.
First time I've probably not gotten something wrong, the same answer as Orry's. But I did get it wrong. I have no clue who Josh Norwood is. But I decided it was probably another trap by Norb. The guy who no one knows, and so I decided that I was not going to fall for the trap. I don't fall for traps a lot, and so that is very costly right now. But I went with Jason Myers because usually the kicker or the punter is usually the lightest guy on the team, the skinniest guy on the team. So I went with Jason Myers.
Well, that approach did not work this time. Calvin, how about you?
Wait, so Norwood's a receiver, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
actually,
so
he might be a secondary guy, actually.
I thought it was
Secondary guy?
Yeah. I don't even really know who he is. I just looked up the weight. It's like, oh, this guy, I don't even know who he is.
Okay. Well, for me, I went with the kicker because just like Martin said, I mean, kickers are usually the smallest guys on the team.
Unless you're Sebastian Janikowski, then it's the complete opposite. But, yes, go ahead.
The Polish hammer. But I think that we saw a whole bunch of receivers. Let's go with the fact that Norwood is a receiver. Let's just assume that. I think that is a travesty. No receiver should be lighter than a kicker. And so I went with the kicker, but man, sheesh.
Now, Noah, I know you think beyond just the questions and the answers. So if you learned anything from that weight question of the heaviest, my guess is you have a chance of guessing the lightest. Did you or did you not?
You see, Norb, I was like, Norb knows me to do that. So I'm like, it's too easy. It's too easy to get. Norwood's too easy. I don't know who that is. I'm like, and so I'm thinking, so I think Myers first. I'm like, no, Myers is too chunky for that. There's no way it's Myers. I thought Tyler Lockett. I'm like, too easy. But John Ursua. Yeah. That's a sneaky little guy. I was like,
I met him. I interviewed him. I saw him in person, and he is. I'm looking at him like, I'm bigger than this dude.
Right. I could take him. And so I was there. I went Ursula.
Oh, man. I thought you would. Yeah, so you overthink it. You thought.
I was like, dude, we just talked about my logic for this, and there's no way he's going to do that twice.
If John Ursula is watching this right now, then he's probably thinking, oh, man, I'm gonna take this guy down and go 1v1.
Me and Ursula can box. We can box. I challenge him.
Now, of course, I don't know. This is based on what the Seahawks' most recent posted weights are. These guys could be going, "Hey, man, I went on a diet this past or I might put on 5 pounds of muscle." So these could be, completely off. But according to the Seahawks official roster, that's what it's based on. All right, let's see how the YouTube scoreboard fares after this question that shook everybody up. Oh my gosh, no change. Dangerous in first, Sky High Aviation in second, Schmilligot in third, Snobgot 1592 in fourth, and Tyler Greaves in fifth. Schmilligot is making a comeback with 3 in a row. Let's see what happens next in a very tight race right now. Next question, number 8. How many rushing yards did Beast Mode have in Super Bowl 49? 112, 123, 94, or 102? Beast Mode rushing yards in Super Bowl 49. 112, 123, 94, or 102. You have 3 seconds. Time is up. Most of YouTube got that one. I'm not surprised. 102 rushing yards for Beast Mode. Should have been 103, doggone it. Let's go to the panel here with Orry. What say you, my friend?
94. I feel like this is a trap, and he's gonna put 100 and 3 above 100, and I was like, I'm not sure, so I'm gonna go with 94.
Martin, are you with Orry on this one?
It was down to 103 and 123 and 102, and something in the back of my head told me that it was somewhere in the 120s while you were asking the question. So I went with 123.
Man, tough day today. Calvin.
Well, you could add to that. I was thinking 123 because I figured that he was gashing the defense, and so I went to a number that was a little higher than some of the others, but not wrong.
Noah.
I was like, if he got the touchdown, he's Super Bowl MVP, so it's got to be over 100. And I 123, that was appetizing, but it was just a little bit too sexy for me. 112, that's realistic, so I adopted 112 and got it wrong.
Wow, usually I lose. All right, you guys figure me out on these number ones because you guys go, well, see, Norb never makes it the top or the bottom one, so it's always the one in between. And usually you guys figure me out, but I can't believe I got you guys on this one. So here we are, still stuck 2 points apiece for Orry, Martin, and Calvin, and Noah at 1. This has got to be like the lowest scoring panel game ever.
Well written.
Apparently, I didn't think it was that well written. I had like 1 gimme in there, Bo. But all right, let's see what.
I think going on those trips sucked out a little.
Your brain went a little dead on these vacations. Too much traveling. All right, let's go see the YouTube scoreboard. A couple of changes at the bottom. Dangerous still in first. Sky High Aviation in second. Schmilligot in third. Tyler Greaves moves up to fourth. And Joker gets into the 5th spot. 30 places, though. The Sports Nerd had him last week and won 2 in a row. Up 30 places trying to get on the podium. Let's see if he can do it. Next question. Question number 9. What year did Richard Sherman get tested positive for PEDs? Was it 2014, 2012, 2011, or 2013? The year Richard Sherman got tested positive for PEDs. 2014, 2012, 2011, or 2013? Time is up. Ooh, tricked you guys on this one, at least in YouTube land. The answer was 2012. 8 of you got this one correct. Let's go to our panel. Orry, tell me we can get some points on the board here.
2012.
You got it.
Yeah.
Did you actually remember this, or is this a lucky guess?
I kind of knew this one, so I put 2012.
Okay, all right. Martin, are you having a mind meld with Orry on this one?
Oh boy, I went with 2013 because I was pretty sure some sort of article said that he got tested positive something like early before the 2013 season, like I think it was summer 2013, I believe. And so, but I went with 2013. So,
yep. Sorry, man. Calvin.
I guess we're just going consecutive years. Orry said 2012, Martin said 2013. I went with 2014.
Man, swing and a miss, struck him out. Noah, got to get you out from the bottom.
I was surprised Orry got this right because he became a fan during the playoffs of the 13 season. So I'm impressed with Orry. Martin, I didn't expect him to get it because he's so young. Calvin, I thought would get this. Norb, I think this is the first question you've asked today that I actually knew. And that was from remembering the 2012 season and remembering heading into that Niners game late in the year how Sherman was able to play. And then he had that huge impact returning the blocked field goal for a touchdown. So I actually remembered that one.
All right. Well, so memory serves well. And if you guys remember, Sherman was one of the few players to actually wriggle out of a PED test. He was found guilty with it, but by some legal technicality, he had the guy, the tester, on some technicality of his urine sample spilling or getting mixed up or something. And talk about wiggling off the hook, man. But he got it done. So let's see how the YouTube audience fared in the scoreboard. Again, everybody's staying pretty true. Dangerous at 1, Sky High Aviation in 2nd, Shamila got in 3rd, Tyler Greaves at 4th, but a Squabian moves up to 5th. Who is that? Do we know who that is? He's gone to the 5th place though.
It's a very smart individual.
We have a fan of DJ Squabo. Squabian moves to 5th.
I'm at least one of the top 3 Squabians, I'm just saying. That's to be...
Behind the scenes, up 14 places, Devin Peterson is the highest climber, trying to get on that board. Here we go to the next question. Are we into the double time? We'll see here. Yes, we are. Double point answers where your fates can really change. Who had the longest catch in 2019? David Moore, Josh Gordon, Jerron Brown, or DK Metcalf? Longest catch of 2019. David Moore, Josh Gordon, Jerron Brown, or DK Metcalf? Single longest catch of 2019. And time is up. If you said David Moore, like 13 of you in YouTube said, you were correct. Let's go to the panel. Orry.
I put David Moore. I was like, Josh Gordon's 58, Jerron Brown, I don't know. He's quiet. Who's the other option?
DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf, 54, 53, and I was like, I eliminated them by trying to remember the numbers, and then I got David Moore.
Man, that's pretty impressive, man. All right, David Moore, yes, is correct. 60-yard catch, by the way, to top them all. Josh Gordon missed it only by 2 yards. Okay, let's go to Martin, the encyclopedia.
If that David Moore catch was the one at the Vikings where I was with Norb, I want to punch myself in the face right now. Because I went with Josh Gordon, because I remember that deep ball to from against Carolina. That was like, what? A lot of yards. 58, yeah. But...
You were with me, bud. I don't remember if you were in the stadium at that point because I was waiting for you for like a quarter and a half for you to show up at that game.
I'm pretty sure that was the one where they did that. What's it called? A New Edition dance. Yeah.
Yeah, that was where they burned. What's his name? Who's the defender?
Rhodes.
Yeah, Xavier Rhodes burned him badly on that one. He was looking around like, "Hey, man, who had him?" I guess it was supposed to be me. Yeah. That was the game.
Double points, so aren't you supposed to?
Oh, that's right. You're supposed to be 5. Sorry about that. Good catch. All right, Orry with a sizable lead. Calvin trying to stay pace. Calvin? The exhale.
I was thinking Josh Gordon as well. I didn't remember up until this point David Moore's catch, but now that I'm looking back, it was David Moore. But I did say Josh Gordon just because I remember that Carolina game where he converted on 3rd down, and yeah, I was wrong.
It was an awesome catch, but yeah, it's hard to. It's that Moore catch was so fast and so unimpeded. I think we forgot how long it was because it was so easy. Unlike the Josh Gordon one, he had to really make an acrobatic catch to do it. I mean, and DK Metcalf for that matter too. So no points there, Noah.
If you had to, like, in my memory, how I remember 2019 as a whole, just DK Metcalf deep. And that's what I went with, but I was wrong.
Oh, man. So, Orry, our guest, winner from last time, and here on the panel, 5 points and a 3-way tie of the old school guard of Martin, Calvin, and Noah, 2 points apiece after 10 questions. What is up? Let's go to this.
I was actually watching your stream when you reacted to that 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I think that for my next episode of my show, I'm just going to have Orry ask the questions this time because he is burning us.
Pretty impressive.
And he kills my other friends in my trivia too. So,
really? Yeah. Wow, you're just a sniper out there.
I don't think I can make up questions though.
You're so low key, or you're like the most low key guy ever. I mean, it's like I'm trying to imagine what you'd be like trying to trash talk somebody. You'd be like, "Yeah, I dominated."
I can definitely.
You're so chill.
I trash talk, but I'm being.
If you see me play
I don't do it. I rarely.
No, you're very humble. That's a very good trait of yours.
If you see me play recess football, I like to play like I like to be like a Richard Sherman and start trash talking people. I'm not gonna like curse at anybody. I start like talking a little Richard Sherman type of thing and like get a little cocky sometimes. But yeah, that's just how I play. So wow. I'm not like
I did not know that about you. Seahawks Martin got a little spark, a little fireball, a little trash talking. You don't ever talk about me.
Friend.
I'm the best. I'm Seahawks Martin. You don't ever talk about me. All right, let's keep the show going.
Usually that trash talks to my friend Adam, who thinks he's a better QB than me.
I see. This time it's personal. Okay, let's go to the scoreboard and see what's up here. What's shaking? Oh my goodness! Radical changes at the top. Dangerous drops to the second spot. Sky High Aviation is flying high. Takes the lead after that double question. A Squabian moving to third is on fire with 4 correct answers in a row. Schmilligod drops to fourth and Tyler Greaves hanging on in fifth. But this is all within like 1,000 points. Anything can happen with this next question. Here we go. Double Jeopardy now. Question number 11. What was the final score of the 2005 NFC Championship? 21-10, 23-17, 34-14, or 28-22? Final score of the 2005 NFC Championship: 21-10, 23-17, 34-14, or 28-22? You guys better get this, doggone it. Time is up. Yes, YouTube got it. 15 of you got this correct. Yes, it was 34-14. And if you notice the scores, they all have significance. I didn't just throw random numbers out there. And if you saw the pattern, you'd be able to figure it out. But let's see if they did, in fact, figure it out. Orry.
I put 34-14.
You got it.
I remember reading about it in a book, and like I don't remember what it was, but I can remember some of the numbers. And then I was like 34-14. That's it. So, I'd read about it somewhere.
Martin.
Finally got something, 34-14. Finally.
All right. Did you know this, or did you have to do like process of elimination?
Yep. Knew it. 28-22 Packers. 23-17 Niners. I forgot the other one, but yeah, I could tell it was 34-14. We were blowing them out.
Super Bowl.
Yeah. The number we all forgot because this is a game we wanted to forget. So, Calvin. Did you finally get this one?
I did. This is actually just the number that I remembered. Like I said earlier, I knew that the Seahawks and the Panthers squared off of the NFC Championship, and so it would be wrong if I didn't remember the score.
All right. And Noah, tell me you got this one, right?
I remember it was a 20-point victory, and the Hawks had above 30, so...
All right, good. I've got some numbers back up here. So Orry with 7 points, and then Martin, Calvin, and Noah all tied for fourth. So... I think Orry, I believe it's already safe to say that you've got a lead that you are not going to give up here. So I guess advance congratulations already. I won't have to worry about a tiebreaker, thank goodness. But congratulations in advance to Orry for winning the already dominant performance, winning the panel competition. But we got to still settle the YouTube one with one question to go. Let's see where things stand with one question left. Oh my goodness, Dangerous is not finishing strong here. Sky High Aviation at the top still with an answer streak of 3. A Squabian moves up to second. As I said, Dangerous to third. Tyler Greaves moves up to 4th, and a new person to the top 5, Rain City 12s at 57-21, trying to squeeze into the top 3. One question to go, and anything can happen with this final question in terms of the final podium. One question left. Here we go. What is the name of the guy I used to sit next to in section 331? Is his name Mark, Andrew, Dino, or Dave? The guy I used to sit next to in section 331. You knew it had to be a NorbCam question. Mark, Andrew, Dino, or Dave? The guy I used to sit next to back in section 331. Time is up. Ooh, wow. I'm a little surprised that YouTube didn't know this one. Usually you guys know all this little inside stuff. 8 of you got this correct. It was Never Worry Andrew. He would sit next to my right. He still sits there. I still get to see him once in a while. I miss those guys in 331 because some of the people in 334 are dicks, to be honest with you. So let's moving up down the line though.
I'm only 12. I'm only 12. No,
sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, I went off a little bit. Okay, let's see. We already know that Orry's got this, but we have a heated challenge here between the final spot for second place. So let's go through the process. Orry?
Well, I didn't know this one. I was like, I don't think it'd be Dino. I don't think it'd be Mark because I thought you currently sit next to him. Like, I'm just gonna go with Dave.
Dave is actually a guy who sat in front of me. He was one chair ahead and to the right, and actually passed away a few years ago. It was really sad. I found out after I'd moved sections. But yeah, I became really good friends with these guys. I sat there for many years and went through all those exciting victories and stuff with them. And like I said, I miss those guys because sometimes you move to other sections and they're not always as cool as some of the people you used to sit next to. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Let's go to Martin. I think if anyone would know this, it's got to be Martin. Martin, tell me I'm right.
Yeah, okay. I don't know anybody named Dino that you've ever mentioned.
Actually, Dino is Bob Simmons. Bob Simmons' real name is Dino.
Oh, Cardinals fan.
Just so you guys don't know, the Cardinals fan. Yeah, he goes by Bob Simmons, but his actual name is Dino. He's my buddy I do music with. Used to do music with, I should say. So, but you got this one right. You got Andrew. And you actually knew Andrew. Do you remember him from the videos?
I knew Mark sits with your dad down the bottom because you showed me them week 13. Andrew, the other, I called the other guy in the 2013 NFC Championship thumbnail where you're like just leaning on his head. Yeah. He's just like looking like he's going to cry.
That's Andrew. He did cry. He did cry.
Yeah. You were about to cry too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right, Calvin.
I just guessed, and I guess I got lucky. I said Andrew.
All right. Uh-oh, we got tie for second place here. Noah, where does that leave you?
Second place, because I remember the Andrew.
All right. Never Worry Andrew. The name got famous from, I think that was the Cardinals game in 2013, the last game that we lost. Because I remember getting all stressed out that we were going to lose that game, and he kept saying, I'm not worried. We got Russell Wilson. I'm not worried. But we lost the game, though, so it didn't work out. Nick LaBow with the super chat. Norb, you got to find out who's second. So here's a question. How many coaches have the Seahawks had in total? Oh. Trying to break the tie. Okay, let's do that. Tiebreaker. You guys put a number in your heads. How many coaches have the Seahawks had in total? You have a number in your head? You have 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And I assume that you're going to look it up or you're going to make me work for it, Nick. Hold those numbers. Sports Live in the ATL and the Super Chat. Hey, Norb, wow, you're getting gray. Oh, yeah, man. It's the stress from my kids. See you week 1. Go Falcons. I hope I see you week 1, man. Well, if Nick's not going to tell me the answer, I guess I better look it up. You guys got your answers?
I say 7. I think Martin said 8, and Cal says 9.
All right, let's see. Here we go.
I thought it was 7 or 6.
So what are the answers again?
I say 7, Martin 8, Cal 9.
Martin would be correct. There were 8 head coaches in Seahawks history. Jack Patera, Mike McCormick, Chuck Knox, Tom Flores, Dennis Erickson, Mike Holmgren, Jim Mora, and Pete Carroll. So congratulations. I guess I got to mark you down officially as the, well, you're not going to win against Orry, but you get to be the unofficial guy who gets to be in second place. I'll put in here. Second place. Okay, let's go to the final score here. And if you're the winner, make sure you screenshot your screen if you are the winner. Here we go. Let's go to the podium and find out who gets to be a guest on the next NorbCam broadcast. Here we go. In third place, with 7,414 points, A Squabian with the bronze. And second with 8,942 is Dangerous. And with 10,077 points with 9 correct answers, Sky High Aviation. Congratulations. And Tyler Greaves and Russ Sack, something to the runner-ups. So screenshot that, Sky High Aviation. I know you're no stranger to this show. You finally got on the winner podium with the gold medal. 10,077 points, 9 out of 12 questions answered. Congratulations. Nice job. That was pretty freaking awesome. And looking forward to seeing you in a future show. All right. Well, that was good, man. I guess that's got to go down as one of the most challenging trivia contests I've ever put you guys through.
That was.
Hey, me and the Squabian both came in third. I think that's a sign.
But hey, congratulations.
There were 4 of us and like 50 of them. But
that's true.
Well, congratulations, by the way.
What's that?
A Squabian, he put it in the chat. That was Golden Seahawk.
Oh, Golden
God.
Seahawk. Nice. Wow. He's showing his loyalty in his nicknames.
Brandon Rogers, that's his name, I think.
Cowherd as a joke. They call him Colin Cowherd as a joke.
Right. Oh, that's the one. Okay. Well, congratulations, Sky High Aviation. I know you've been close a lot of times. You finally got it. So contact me, norb@norbcam.com, and we'll figure out a way to get you on there. And Norberto out there, email me, norb@norbcam.com, and let's get you on the show, figure things out as well. So, Orry, man, twice in a row, you reached an Elite Hall of Fame fan status of winning the online contest and then beating the panel in pretty dominant fashion through most of the game.
Third time that happened. It happened past 3 times.
That's pretty
yeah,
amazing.
on my show, I believe.
Oh, you beat on that appearance. Okay.
No,
wow,
the person who wins on the YouTube wins it on the panel. Happened the past 3 times.
It was Rishi too, and then it was what was the Rohan?
Sports Nerd.
Oh, the Sports Nerd. The Sports Nerd,
Yeah.
too, did it last. You guys weren't on the last one that I had, but yeah, the Sports Nerd pulled it off, too. So pretty smart guys out there. All right, guys. Well, I want to, again, thank you guys for being here. We haven't had a chance for you guys to shout out a little bit about your shows. I did with Orry. So, again, everybody's descriptions are in the channel, but I want to give you guys a chance to just remind everybody where they can find you, starting with you, Martin.
Yeah, my channel's called Seahawks Martin. I don't think we are going to have an episode this week, but hopefully next week. As my recorder/editor is out of town. He's my friend Andrew, because I am not very good with editing at all. But yeah, I just talk sports. Usually it's football. Sometimes I put some basketball videos in there. Planning to start adding a couple more funny videos, like what do you call it? Comedy type of videos. But yeah, that's pretty much what my channel is. If you subscribe to me, then yeah, thank you. Let's get Steezy to 1K. And Orry and Noah deserves so much more subscribers. And of course, Norb, gotta subscribe to him. Hopefully 50K soon.
Yeah, yes. I've been stuck at 37 for the longest time. So yeah, help all of us out. Get our sub rate up a little bit. We would definitely appreciate it. Calvin, let's get you up there. Tell everybody a little bit about where they can find you.
Yes, sir. So Noah and I were both aspiring analysts. I post weekly videos on YouTube. He's posting at least twice a week. Be sure to show him some love. Subscribe to him at DJ Squabo, DJ SQUABO. Don't forget to sub to Orry. Don't forget to sub to Seahawks Martin. Don't forget to show some love to Big Bro Norb. All of our links will be in the description. As for me, I haven't dropped a video in a couple of weeks. I feel bad for y'all, so I'll be dropping 2 of them this weekend only. One about Cam Newton and one about Patrick Mahomes. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. And I'll let Noah get into the Boelt.
All right, the Boelt, Noah, go for it, man.
Yeah, every Saturday from 10 to 1, we talk sports. You can tune in live with the KGRG app. This Saturday, Dylan's going to finally back, which is going to be a lot of fun. Boelter is back. Calvin has a losing streak in Boelter. I think it's 5 straight or something, so it's going to be fun. He keeps, and he always has a lead. I'm pretty sure he had the lead at some point in each of those 5 games, and he somehow found a way to let it slip. But regardless, we're going to play it on Saturday from 10 to 1. You can, if you missed the live stream, you can listen live, or you can listen later on SoundCloud, where we podcasted up. Both links are in the description below.
All right. And yes, most of all, thanks to all of you, for everybody who was in the super chat and in the regular chat. Thanks for being part of that. For everybody who played the game on the Kahoot. I'm glad you guys got to participate. I hope you had a little fun and learned a few things about your Seahawks. And of course, for everybody who just watched this video, maybe you're watching it after the fact, we love it every single way. I especially do appreciate every viewer that watches things. And if you comment, I will definitely read it. I will try to respond. I try to do that as much as I can. So I'm definitely watching that. So if you guys want to do so, I would love it. Hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. And do the same for our buddies here in the chat, because, or in the my guests, because we are all trying to do our thing here, and we would love all the support that you have. So thanks again, you guys. And we will see you next time. Take care. Go Hawks.